Another day in the Big Brother house means another day of Tiffany flip-flopping around. Yes, after I recorded yesterday's video, she once again started spiraling with Claire, like I was talking about them, going over a new possible alliance with the chessboard. But when the aces came in, she started talking to them about the plan of having a duos alliance. Now, kind of bad to say that in front of Whitney, who doesn't have a duo. But to make matters worse for Tiffany, she then, after that conversation, talked to Claire about how she needs to play her own game. She's spiraling and she needs to play her own game. And then she mentions how, she can't worry if America hates her because she can't be worried about the bigger agenda, obviously meaning the cookout. Now, I don't think Claire fully caught on to that comment, but I still think it was a really stupid night for Tiffany in the wee hours of Wednesday morning. One, to say that kind of shit in front of Whitney, who just hours earlier Tiffany wanted out the most, and now telling Claire something about a bigger agenda. But then, to make matters worse, when she woke up Wednesday morning, she just became even more like Frenchie. At this point, if you really can't see the similarities between Frenchie and Tiffany, you are lying to yourself. Because Tiffany woke up having a dream, much like Frenchie's dream about the big fish. And in Tiffany's dream, she dreamt about America. Yes, apparently the American dream, Dusty Rhodes, came to her in a dream. Okay, I added that part. But she dreamt about America, which made her think she needs to work with the cookout. After spiraling about how she needs to not work with the cookout because of Kylan's many connections, just hours earlier when she went to bed. This has brought Tiffany to 13 days, flip-flopping her plans, and her go-to is always just new alliances. While today she went back to her original plan. She was the one in the cookout who said they all need to spread out and make alliances with other people. While today she went back to that plan, talking to everybody in the cookout, including Hannah, that they need to have someone they're close to get to jury with. So hers would be Claire, Xavier's would be Alyssa, Kylan would be Sarah Beth, Azza would be Brittany, Hannah would be Derek X. They didn't really have one for Derek F. So apparently after spiraling, just when I was recording yesterday's video, now she has turned her plan back to she has to work with the cookout. But how long will this last? Will she change her mind yet again? For Tiffany, it is all about her Leo ego. I feel like she needs to be in charge of plans. She doesn't think other people can be in charge of plans. She wants to be the one in control. Kylan has control. It's a whole mess constantly with this Leo woman. One good thing to come out of this mess, however, is all the exposing of Sarah Beth. Oh, everybody and their favorite overrated player, Sarah Beth. Sarah Beth was supposed to be this rat floater, but she's been the one who's been getting ratted out a lot this week. She put all her eggs in that Kylan basket, and Kylan went and told shit to Tiffany. Tiffany told it to Claire. So people have lost trust in Sarah Beth. It's rough being the rat when you get ratted out. Hannah got in on some information today thanks to Kylan and Tiffany, letting her know that if the Kings win HOH, they're probably putting her up with Whitney. And it was finally a good day for Hannah. I feel like overall, Hannah has one of the worst social games in the house. I think that is true. She has not been able to make any real one-on-one connections outside of Derek X. She just blindly trusts Tiffany sometimes. She was talking to Whitney while Whitney was throwing her under the bus. Definitely her social game has been her weak point, but it hasn't helped that the cookout has not included her a lot. Now, this is the point it's been a few days since I've had to, call out the sheep in the fan base. There's been some odd shit for weeks now, where whatever Ozza does, people try to vilify her. Oh, she's too emotional. Oh, why is she trying to stick up for Britney so much? Oh, I mean, whatever fucking Ozza does, people criticize it. And now people grasping at straws, trying to act like Ozza's the reason Hannah's not in the cookout or wasn't officially in the cookout. But no, it was everyone's beloved Tiffany, the overplayer, who, and this is the facts. I don't know what these people on other podcasts talk about. I think Big Brother podcasts suck, but because they always have their own bad narratives. A certain podcast has been really terrible at predicting over the last 5 years on any Big Brother shows, whether it's Canada, Celebrity, or US. They give pretty terrible predictions and pretty terrible player analysis. I mean, those are the same people hyping up Sarah Beth, who has been exposed for a few days in a row now and has put all her eggs in one basket. Great gameplay, Sarah Beth. But anyway, back to Ozza. And, the sheep fan base trying to blame Ozza that she doesn't want Hannah in the cookout. It was Tiffany who, when the cookout first started, Tiffany was like, Hannah's young, don't want to include her in the cookout. Hannah's messy, don't know if we should include her in the cookout. Tiffany went to Derek F with this, talked about Hannah being messy and young. Went to Ozza with this, talked about Hannah being messy and young. She went to Xavier with this, talked about Hannah being young. I don't remember if she went to Kylan. I didn't see that if it happened. But she went to those three members of the cookout and made it seem like probably uneasy about bringing Hannah in. So Tiffany was the one who created all this shit in the cookout about Hannah being young and messy. Maybe they shouldn't include her. And then other players like Xavier have always just had her on the outskirts of the cookout. He'll protect her if he can. But of course, Ozza gets to blame because the fan base has something against Ozza. I have zero idea what it is. It's a very illogical fan base. This is a fan base talking shit about emotional players when all they do on Reddit and Twitter is be fucking emotional about the show. You all that are emotional Big Brother fans would be fucking Frangie and Tiffany, that's for sure. Overplaying, over exaggerating. I have a whole lot of Britney in you too. And so tonight, or Wednesday night, after a day of fucking social media acting like Ozza's the one that wanted to keep Hannah out of the cookout because she's always talking about the cookout being 5, even though Xavier has always said Hannah is just on the outskirts, even though Tiffany has always just called Hannah a junior cookout member. Ozza lets it slip. The name of the Alliance is the cookout. And, if Hannah was really being in the cookout with Tiffany and Xavier and Kylan and Derek F, you'd think she would know the name from one of them. So this just knocks down everybody's theory that it's Oz's fault that Hannah wasn't included in the cookout. It makes no sense. It's a weird narrative. I don't know where it came from. But if it was only Ozza, Hannah would have known the name by now. Okay? Now, on the other side of that coin, it's been stupid that everybody in the cookout has not included Hannah more. I think Hannah has been down for the cause the entire time. And I think Hannah is also savage in this game, or I think she wants to be savage in this game. I don't think she's had really a choice yet. But I think it's good that they're finally giving Hannah information. I mean, Tiffany's trying to use Hannah to go with Derek X and, hope that Hannah will be involved with cutting him down the line. But I think all in all, it was an update for the cookout after most of the week has been them having a lot of cracks. And it's all because of Tiffany. The stupid sheep fan base can continue to try and blame Derek F and Ozza for being weak in the cookout or for, being anti-cause. But in reality, it's Tiffany who admitted to the cameras just when I was recording this video yesterday that she wants to play her own game. And I think it has been proven now that that's what she has been doing for the past 13 days, is thinking that was not her best path, even though it was her own fault, because Tiffany is always the one starting the fires in the cookout. She left information outside of Ozza. She gave the attitude to Ozza, not the other way around. She had a problem with Ozza. Derek F has had a problem with some of her attitude as well. And now, just yesterday, 24 hours ago, Tiffany was trying to plan Kylan's downfall. So the person that's starting fires in the cookout constantly is Tiffany, and then usually Xavier and Kylan have to try and put out those fires. And all Tiffany continues to do is just lose her own real numbers. I'm not at a point where I can say she has no chance of winning this game, but God, has she made it fucking hard for herself. Well, a lot of people keep talking about throwing the next HOH, or have been all week. But I feel like we've gotten to a point where I think everybody except the queens now want to go for HOH. I'm assuming HOH, if we're still keeping the teams, even though they should end it early and be the unexpected, then we're still going to have a fucking wild card competition, which means that the HOH comp has to end by the end of Thursday's episode, because they have that fucking competition on Sundays and they won't have time to have HOH competition and that. So I'm assuming it's a knockout competition or another crapshoot, probably combination of both, or hopefully a combination of both. But I see it being a crapshoot some way, and I see Christian having the best shot at winning HOH, which would probably lead to some combination of the aces being on the block. If Christian or Alyssa win HOH, maybe a joker, but yeah, I think Hannah, Whitney, Derek X could be in trouble if one of the boring showman's people win HOH. Lastly, I'll just continue to be a rebel, I guess, in this sheep fan base and say that my favorite duo is starting to become Ozza and Derek Frazier. Fan base could hate on them all they want, but at this point, they're the only. I mean, I don't know if they're officially a duo, but I feel like they are. Derek Frazier's always trying to pump Ozza up to get her social game up. And now I think it's hilarious that they are trying to decide who, because both of them like to stay in the room a lot. Now they have to decide which one gets to stay in the room and which one has to go out and socialize, which I think is funny. They're both messy, it's true, but I would take that over fucking Sarah Beth just being in Kylan's basket while he uses her, or over Tiffany and Claire spiraling every night being stupid.